Okay, got it. Hi. Okay, so everybody, good morning. And this is the second video in the stories from the suitcase YouTube channel. And today we're going to meet Wanda Kyle, who is a wonderful person. And she is the interlocutor, the poor girl that has to listen to me telling all these stories. But today we're going to learn about Wanda. And Wanda is a good example of, I've been called an accidental journalist. So I write about and interact with anybody that I meet, and everything that happens becomes part of the story. And Wanda is a big part of the story. And she came into my life because I was called up New York State Gas and Electric to pay my overdue bill on this camp we have down in the Adirondacks in upstate New York. And we negotiated the payment and all that. And I noticed that I said, Wanda, you don't sound like you come from New York. You got a Southern accent there. And she said, yes, I'm in Mississippi. So NYSEG had outsourced, to Wanda in Mississippi, all these bill payments and things. And so we got talking, and Wanda told me that she was originally Amish, and then she converted to Mennonite. She's a Mennonite now. And can you tell us a little bit about that, Wanda, and about yourself now?
Thank you so much, Alex. It is my pleasure to be here with you. It has been fantastic hearing your stories. I can't wait to hear the rest of them. So again, my name is Wanda. I am from Mississippi. I was born and raised 20 minutes from where I'm living at now. So a little background. I was not raised Amish. I was raised Mennonite, but my grandparents were raised Old Order Amish. And I wrote a book here called Growing Up Mennonite. And in the book, I start with the Old Order Amish beliefs, and then why my grandparents transitioned to Mennonite. So I've got to get the book to you. But so this is a picture of my great grandfather that was let me see if I found it. I had lost it. Anyway, so there are a lot of stories. So this was written about my great grandfather.
Can you raise it a little higher?
Okay.
Oh, well, great looking guy.
Yes. So this is this was written when they were in Aberdeen. So they came to Aberdeen in around 1950. I mean, it had to be the earlier than that, like 49 or so. And they were a novelty, I guess is the word. So back then there was tons of things written about them. So I've used some of those things to write in my book, but my book is primarily me growing up as Mennonite. And so here is us as a family.
Wow.
And so I'm going to share what my dress looks like. As you can see, the sleeves go all the way to the wrist.
Wow.
And my dress is the same length. It goes all the way to my ankles. And the neck collar goes all the way to the neck. And then we wore a bonnet to kind of to shade our face from all the sun, so we wouldn't get any sun damage on our face, just kind of protection. It wasn't so much about a religious thing. We didn't wear it as a covering like a lot of Mennonites or different religions do. We wore it simply as a protection from the sun. This is not the way we wore our hair. Our hair was wore on our head with pins. And so growing up, it was a community, a family, and our family was our community. And so we did kind of like the Amish. We worked together very well when needed to be, as far as helping in the garden and things like that. The big difference with us is we did have electricity. We had all of the modern technology to help us, but we did not have TV. We did not bring TV or radio into the home. We had, my father was worked out in the public, for the public, putting in sewer systems and water lines. And so we were in that a lot of times. But for him to talk to us, we didn't have cell phones then. So he got a radio that was designated just for a radio frequency just for us. So we didn't hear any of the chatter from the outside. So they sheltered us a lot.
Right. So the basic difference with Amish and Mennonite is that the Mennonites accept more of modern technology. Yeah, I saw that. I visited these Mennonites in Chihuahua, Mexico, and they were living out in the desert, and they had these huge wheeling pivot irrigation systems that they couldn't have done without, couldn't have grown much without these things, you know.
Exactly.
And I'm going to fish out somewhere. I have this wonderful postcard of these 3 Mennonite girls in Chihuahua, and it says, Menonitas, muchachas bonitas. You know?
And so what is that translation for those that don't
It
speak
means
Spanish?
Mennonites, beautiful girls.
Gotcha. And most, yeah, I would say for one thing, because of our clean living, we had very clear skin.
Yeah.
We didn't use very little, we didn't use any makeup or anything like that. And we were not raised with any like enhancements, or we didn't use any kind of, like, we didn't get a lot of acne and things from when we were growing up. We had a little bit, but it wasn't like it is today.
Right.
Like, we ate out of the garden. The only thing that we didn't grow or create ourselves was sugar,
Right.
flour, bread, and salad dressing.
Right.
Everything else was out of the garden. So you had a huge garden. So you canned and froze, and then you had pigs and cows, chickens. So you got your eggs and all of that from there.
Yeah.
Um,
So there wasn't much overweight from eating too many Big Macs and things.
no.
Yeah. Do you go to McDonald's?
We did occasionally go to McDonald's, but that was like very, very rare. When I was growing up, we knew what McDonald's was. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I'm trying to remember if I ever remember eating a McDonald's hamburger growing up.
Right.
Now, at one time, I indulged in McDonald's hamburgers, but I don't so much anymore.
Right.
I've learned what it does for us, or don't do for
there's
us.
a real, Super Size Me. Did you ever see that thing, Michael Moore's documentary? He ate like for 2 or 3 weeks straight, nothing but McDonald's, and put on 20 pounds. It's a real problem in the US, the overweight, obesity, epidemic.
Yep.
It's called positive malnutrition. You know,
Yes, for sure. And
yeah,
the funny thing is we ate when I say we had a spread of food, we had a table full of food. Every meal had meat,
yeah,
every meal had bread,
well,
every meal had 2 or 3 vegetables.
yeah,
We did not go hungry, but because we were always active,
yeah,
we didn't be predominantly overweight. I mean,
right,
yeah,
right,
at one time I was a good bit heavier than I am now, but
yeah,
that was stress more than anything at that time.
right. So
Um,
meanwhile, you have learned all this, how to do all this digital stuff, and
I
did,
have.
did you teach yourself there, or I mean, you're way ahead
Well,
of me.
I did teach a lot of it to myself. I did take some. I did go to college and take some classes, and through that, I learned to teach myself a lot of things. I learned,
Right.
you know, so it was very interesting when um expressed a interest in this. My father was very much into, this is where the world is going today, and if you
Yeah.
want a job, um, you know, taking care of yourself, you're probably going to need to have some kind of knowledge with this. So he helped me go to school. I was one of the first ones. I was the first one in my house to have a computer. And through that, we all learned together to use the computer. So my sisters can use a computer. Don't like a lot of them. Don't like them. Um, but I love
Hey, how
computers.
many brothers and sisters do you have?
There are 2 boys, and there are 5 of us girls surviving. Mother carried 10 to term,
Wow.
so I have 3 siblings that passed as infants.
Right.
Yeah. There
Yeah. My,
is,
my wife's mom, who just died last year at the age of 103, she carried 10 to term and had a lot of other ones too,
oh wow.
the
Yeah,
old family stuff. Anyhow, so this is really, so you're a devout Christian,
I am. I am.
and you know, I'm kind of agnostic. I don't know. I can't be sure about God being there, but I totally subscribe to the teachings of Christ. I mean, very, 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 important teachings. And I learned to play the guitar from this blind Reverend Gary Davis, who the next time I'll play you the first song he ever taught me on the guitar when I was 16. He was not only my guitar teacher, but my guru. And he even made me a minister of the Universal Life Church. And I've married 3 couples, and I'm marrying my oldest boy next March in Utah, St. George, Utah.
Well, how about
So,
that?
he taught me a lot of great religious songs. You know, amazing human being. But anyway, so you're there. What town you in there in the Mississippi?
It's called Tupelo. So it's right down, well, actually, it's called Nelliton. I'm 20 miles from Tupelo, which is where Elvis Presley was born at.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that something? God. So you're basically farming. Yeah. Did you try those fresh green pickles that I
I have not tried those because put I cut up some pickles, but I did not get them put away. And right now we've been so hot till my
yeah,
cucumbers, they're literally big on one end and very small on the other end because they're not getting enough water for the
Wow.
whole growth. So they've kind of pittered out on me.
Yeah.
But I do have, I've got some fall ones growing. They're
Yeah.
about this tall and they're from volunteers. So I
Right.
will have some fall ones coming along.
Yeah, because I discovered when I was in Russia last time, I'm of Russian Ukrainian origin. This is 2014. All along the country road that I drove in Russia, these babushki, these women, they wear bonnets, you know, the women, and they had these delicious fresh green pickles. They call them zelyony agurtsi. And I believe what they do is they just cut the cucumber into spears and they put it into, you know, hot boiled water just with dill, no vinegar, then seal it up and leave it out in the sun for a couple of weeks, and then they are ready. And they are the most delicious pickles. It's funny that they don't do this in the U.S. They're, you know, hands down, you know, I'm a kind of a pickle enthusiast myself, you know. So we got to try this.
I will. Do you like hot pickles? Have you ever had hot pickles?
You mean like with chili pepper?
Well, it would be with chili pepper. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's very spicy.
Yeah, I've had some of those. And then
Yeah.
some of the Jewish pickles are really good.
I
But
haven't tried any of those.
they have vinegar. You know?
Yes, yes. They're called the kosher ones. Well,
Right.
so exactly. So we'll have to discuss some of the recipes
Yeah.
from the different places that you've been, because I don't consider myself a foodie,
Right.
but I love trying different foods and plants from other places.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of different plants that I have purchased, or seeds that I have purchased from places out of the United States.
Yeah.
They come from a place called Baker Creek Catalog. They're a company in the United States, but they find seeds from overseas and all around to bring back in.
What kind of seeds of what?
Food like beans, beets, cucumbers,
Yeah.
cabbages, just
Wow.
all the different kinds of food that we don't have here in the United States.
Yeah.
Because it's not been used or grown.
Yeah.
I'm getting those and growing them here so that I can have a different source of food.
Yeah.
To introduce the community to different foods also.
Well, when I was, let's see, in both Russia and Ukraine in 2014, you know, everybody was busy, you know, growing food and, you know, they're planting and stuff. And it was the spring. And I stayed with this nice family in the village that my people were from in Ukraine. And they had all of this stuff in their root cellar that they brought up, you know, cherry compotes. I mean, the most delicious things. And of course, their borscht is really good. You know, borscht is, you know, it's a soup.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Borscht. Borscht.
So what I want to do is when you know that you're going to tell a story from a different country,
yeah,
then we're going to include some recipes and things from that.
Right. Music.
Exactly. Music and food both. So I'm going to stop the recording here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down so that we have me telling my story, and then we'll have different pieces that we can break it up with.
Sounds absolutely great.
Awesome. So I'll talk to you later. I got to go back to work.
Okay, so we'll shoot for like what, Thursday?
Um, would Friday work?
Friday's good.
Okay. All right. We'll shoot for Friday then.
All right, and then I'll play some music then.
That
too.
would be fantastic. Yes.
All right, good. I think we did good today.
We've done fantastic today. We've done a lot.
The more we do it, the better we get. You know?
Yes, for sure. All right. Sounds great.
All right, back
Bye.
to work. Thank you.
Uh-huh.